Okay, so we looked at echo command. We already looked at all this yesterday. Let me see where were we at. We did tree, we did absolute path, and okay, so last thing we left off was absolute path and relative path here, right? So wait a minute here. Where am I? Extra. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is I'll show you how to remove the file here. Okay. You do ls, and if you want to remove the file 1, the command is rm file 1. Okay, and hit enter. It will tell you, do you want to remove the regular empty file? Just push Y and hit enter. So the file is gone. There is no more file 1 there. Okay, now in Linux, once the file is deleted, it's done. It's not coming back. No matter what you do, there will not be a way to recover a file in Linux, because it's deleting it from the core of the file. Wherever the file is sitting, it will delete that partition table. Delete that table. We'll go deep into how the files are managed a little bit later here, but right now that's how it is. So if you delete a file, it's all gone. Okay, you get only one chance. You want to really delete or not. Okay, so let's see here. Now if you want to remove the file forcefully, okay, if you want to remove the file forcefully, what you could do is rm hyphen rf, remove forcefully, and then I'm going to give you file 2 here. Okay, and when I hit enter, what will happen is it will not even ask you for the confirmation. It will just delete it for you. Boom. So you got to be careful how you're using this here. Okay, now if you want to remove multiple files here, so let me do touch file 1, file 2. So I have 3 files here, right? I have 3 files starting with F here. So how do I delete the multiple files matching the same case? What I'll do is rm hyphen rf. I type F and then asterisk. That means anything that is starting with F and anything that is matching starting with F, delete it. So it could be file 1, file 2, or anything that starts with touch fixle. Okay, hit enter. Now notice this is not named as file 1 here. It cannot name wrong. But when we run rm hyphen rf, f and asterisk, anything that is starting with F, it will delete that. If I put starting with L, what do you think it will delete here? It will get rid of
delete file from start from L.
Yeah, it will delete all these folders here. Very good. I appreciate you using even for the folders, you're using the term file, because in Linux, I told you also earlier, files and folder means they're all the same thing. Okay? So if I hit enter
So
like this, yeah, go ahead.
we have deleted the file one already in the above command. Then after putting a touch command, how come you're seeing the file one again?
Touch command, it creates a file, right?
Acha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just created a file so that you have a visual file 1, file 2, because only file 3 was
Right.
there.
Right.
I
Okay.
just
Got
made,
it.
so there were 3, 4 files, including this one here. So if I ran this command, it took care of everything that start with F. Okay.
ठीक ठीक
Now if you let me run the touch command here. Okay, so if I do ls, I have files and folders here also, right? So let me remove the everything from here. Can you go on mute, please? If I do rm-rf and the asterisk, let's take a look here. Let me clear this. ls-a. So it has all the files in here, right? So if I type rm-rf and the asterisk, this is a very dangerous command here, okay? You got to be careful how you use this. And hit enter. Okay? So what it did was, it deleted all the files which are matching the case here. Okay? So it didn't delete the hidden files, but it did delete the non-hidden files here. Everything which are non-hidden matching the case is gone. Okay, so all the files are gone here. So let me go ahead and clear this. There is nothing here. So let me create a touch file 1 again. There is a file here, right? So what I want to do is I want to copy this file into another file here. So how do I do that? It's a cp command. Cp stands for copy. So copying file here, this part here. Okay, so I'm going to do copy file 1 and file 2. What will happen is if file 2 doesn't exist, it will create one for you. If the file 2 already exists, then it will overwrite it for you. Okay, and if you do ls, the copy file 1 and file 2 is there. Okay, now, so the copy command is there. So now what we're going to do is, we could copy the file into a location also. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to create a folder mkdir linux 1. Okay, and then in there I'm going to create Red Hat CentOS. I'm going to do -p. So if you do tree, the folder is there, right? Linux Red Hat Red Hat 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this file into CentOS folder. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do cp, and then I'm going to do name of the file first, file 1, and then the destination.
CentOS.
Okay?
Linux the slash Red Hat slash CentOS.
Yes. Very good. And what kind of path is this?
Relative path.
Say that again.
A relative path.
Yes. Very good. This is a relative path. So if you do tree again, and you see the file 1 is there. Okay? Let's do this same thing doing the absolute path. cp file 2, and I want to do the absolute path here. How would I do that? Hold on.
Slash.
Yeah. So I'm going to copy and then file 2. Okay, help me with the absolute path.
Slash. Slash Red Hat slash CentOS.
No, before that, what are you going to do? You have to type the present working directory first. Root. Now, Linux, Red Hat, CentOS.
But one question is, when we copy the file 1 from the above tree to CentOS, then still the file 1 shows in the above position? It should not, it won't rename it?
You have an option to rename it. But if you
No,
don't
but
rename it, then it will keep the same file name.
okay, but we are not supposed to see the file one when we copy after copying into CentOS.
It's up to you what you want to do it. If you don't, then it will keep the same file name, right?
No, but वो file वहां से remove नहीं होती क्या?
No, that's not move. We are copying it. We are not moving it.
अच्छा.
Okay?
Okay, we're just copying it. So it will be there and another copy will be created here inside.
Yes.
Okay,
So
got
if
it.
you do ls, the file 1 and file 2 is there. And then you could also do ls using the directory here. Can you all go on mute, please, if you not have a question? See, I'm doing the ls using, I did the ls in which directory? I used the ls in this directory here. You could be standing in any directory and then do the list of the directory. Or if you go there and if you do ls, it's the same result. Okay, let me clear this. Now the next option we have is, so here's the breakdown
Question.
of a file. You have a command, you have a cp command, you have a source and the destination. A destination could be the same folder or a relative or absolute path of the folder. Okay, so I'm going to show you, there is a file somewhere here, right? I'm going to go into cd. Don't worry about the location here for now. There is a file here called messages file, right? Let's see here, what's the size? You could do lsf and l and then the name of the file itself, so it gives you the size of the file.
Hello?
Yes, you got a question? Alright, no questions means I'm going to mute everybody. So I'm going to copy a file from this location here to the present working directory, okay? So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do cp/var log, and then this is the file I chose here. Okay, and I want to copy wherever I'm standing, wherever my present working directory is. How do I do that?
Slash.
Which one is present working directory between two?
We are under root, right?
Yeah.
Yes, slash root.
Yeah, that's a good answer. But you don't want to know. You don't want. Suppose you don't know wherever you are. So what is your present working directory is represented as?
Slash.
Right here, period. I told you, period means present working directory also.
Okay.
And then two periods means previous, the parent directory of that your directory you're in. So let me delete this. So if I do ls, the file doesn't exist, messages, right? I'm giving the path of that file which is sitting somewhere else so that it gets copied into my present working directory. How am I going to do that? This is the source and this is the destination.
Okay.
You could definitely type /root also. It will work too. But if you type this, it's the same thing. If you do ls, see the messages file is there now. Okay? So let's try doing this here. Let me go into cd Linux and then Red Hat ls. I'm going to copy a file which is cp and same file. Let me copy the same file here. And then I'm going to copy into CentOS. Okay? And if I hit enter, cannot log messages, no such file.
Yeah, you had to give a full path.
I gave the full path, didn't I? This is the full path. Okay, so let me do this here. Let me go back clear here. So I'm going to copy into this directory here, CentOS directory. So what I'm going to do is cp and this, and if I hit enter, where is it gonna copy?
In the root directory now.
Which directory is gonna copy?
CentOS only.
No.
Above the CentOS is the root directory, right?
It's going to copy in present directory.
Yeah. Where is this is gonna copy
There's
in
a
the
Red
present
Hat.
directory. And what is my present directory?
Red
Red
Hat.
Hat.
Very good, very good. See, there is one way you could see what directory you are in is Red Hat, and you do pwd. Okay, you hit enter, and then you do ls. Oh, I'm mistyping this, mes messages. Okay, now you do ls, it's there. And you could type CentOS and hit enter, it copied into CentOS. See, CentOS folder has a messages files also. And our present working directory has a messages too. Here you go. So we copied the messages file in here, and then we copied using the path. Okay.
I have a question, Mr.
Yeah,
Zafar.
sure.
So, when I'm still in Red Hat and I copied the same thing, messages, and then checked checked using ls, I see CentOS and messages next to each other, correct? When I just did that again, and then I switched, instead of putting the period, I put /CentOS. It says, is it supposed to say that I'm overriding CentOS?
Do you, is this how you type?
Yeah. So I'm
Okay, hold
back
on.
where we put copy file. Yeah, we put copy file /var log messages dot. Then I put ls. I checked that messages was copied, and then now I did it again. Only exactly I did exactly what you're doing right now, and I hit I put the slash in front of CentOS though, and
No,
then
no.
enter,
Then
and
you're
after
going
that-
into back. You're going all the way over here.
Oh, okay.
You're going to starting the absolute path here. So if the CentOS directory doesn't exist, is not going to do it. It will try to rename or something.
Exactly. It said it was trying to overwrite. So how? So if I just don't want anything to happen, I don't want them to overwrite. I just type in n, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And also, if you want to get out of the, if you type the command, if you want to get out of it, you do Control C. It will cancel it out for you.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so, all right, now, okay, so let's see here. So I think I covered all this here yesterday. Okay, yeah, let me go back where I was. Root, remove, so we did removing multiple files here. So now, okay, so rm hyphen, so we remove, okay, let me show you how to remove the directory. So do ls, and I want to remove the directory Linux 1, right? rm Linux 1, and I hit enter. So it's not going to even give you the option, or are you sure? Because it's a directory has a protection. built in. So you have to do rm -rf and then Linux 1. So what it's going to do is it will kill the directory here, and there is no way you could bring it back. Okay, so now, so we've copied the files using the absolute path and relative path and the cp command. This is the breakdown here, okay? So if you didn't understand what it is, a source could be anywhere. All you have to do is give the absolute path or relative path, and then destination could be anywhere. Absolute path or relative path. Okay, so now let me recreate a directory Linux 1. Linux 1. Let me go into Linux 1 and create some files. Touch file 1, file X, file Y, file Z. Okay, I'm going to come back here. So I have this directory here, and then I'm going to copy the directory to the another directory, at the same time create a new directory. So this is the same command you have to do, cp -rf. Recursively, R stands for recursively, F stands for force. And then I'm going to say Linux 1, and then I'm going to give it to Linux 2. Okay, over here it's 4, so let me keep it 4. So what will happen is it will copy the entire directory and its content into the Linux 4 folder, okay? And hit enter. If I do ls, we should have 2 folders here. If I go into Linux 4, I should see all the files in there. Now let's move a file into Linux 1 folder here, okay? So ls, let's move the file. How do you move the file? mv, that means move file 1 source, and where do you want to move the file to? Destination is what? Linux 1. So here you could also give the absolute path here. Okay, it's just the source and destination, that's all it is. Here I'm using the absolute path, which is path to this directory here, this file here. I'm moving this file into this file using the absolute path and a relative path. Okay?
What is the difference between relative and absolute path?
Okay. All right.
No, I have a
Can
doubt.
somebody help me with his question?
Yeah, I have a question, sir.
Okay, hold on. Let me answer his question. So I told you a absolute path would start from a /root. It will start from the beginning of the operating system. So right now our present directory is this root. This is where it's starting here, and there is also a folder in here called Linux. So the path for this folder would be /root/Linux 1. So this is the absolute path, and then the relative path for this folder would be from the present working directory. It would be Linux 1. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's your question?
कॉपी करने में दोनों में कोई डिफरेंस है क्या पूछ रहा हूँ?
Copy, you leaving the file in the place. Move.
When we use the relative path, when we have to use the absolute path, is there any particular instances?
No. Move
No?
means you're deleting from the existing place and moving to the other place here. So the file one was there, right? And we moved it from this place to Linux 1 here. So if you do ls here, file 1 doesn't exist anymore. Where is file 1? File 1 got physically moved here. When we did copy means it keeps the one copy in wherever it's in location and copies to the destination location. Copy is a copy. You have two copies now.
Yeah.
Okay. Move means,
Completely move हो जाता हूँ.
yeah, you delete one place and move it on another place.
So one location to another location, right?
Yes. Okay, good. Now, so now we also use the move command to rename it. How do you rename the file? You use the move command. Okay, so we have file 2 here, right? So I'm going to rename the file to move file 2 to file 3. So what will happen is the system will check if the file 3 exists. If the file 3 doesn't exist, it will just rename the file 2 to file 3. See, that's how you rename it. There is no rename command. There is no such thing as rename file 1, file 2. The move command, it moves the file from one destination to another destination. But if it's moving within the same destination, then it renames it. So let's rename Linux folder 4. I'm going to say move Linux folder 4 to Linux folder 5. Okay, if I do ls, Linux folder 4 doesn't exist anymore, so it became Linux 5. That's the magic here, that in Linux environment, move command is used to rename also in the present working directory. But if you want to move folder 1 to folder 5, then you use move command rf move -rf Linux 1, and then I'm going to move it to Linux 5. What would be the absolute path for Linux 5? What would be the absolute path for Linux 5? Anybody?
Wouldn't it be root, the source,
Okay.
then the destination?
Yeah, you got it. So the absolute path for Linux 5 is this, /root/5, and then the relative path is this. This is the relative path, and this is the absolute path. So if I move this, Linux 1 will not be there. It will be moved into Linux 5. See, Linux 1 is gone. Where is Linux 5? Linux 5 is now sitting into, Linux 1 is sitting into the folder Linux 5 right there. And it took all the files with it. Okay. This is exactly what you will be doing day in and day out. There will be some advanced stuff coming up, but you could imagine here, hey, just moving around and running some commands, getting paid a high salary, which is true here. For Windows, if you want to be a Windows admin or engineer, you have to know a lot more, and it's harder to get a Windows job compared to Linux job. But the perception is Linux is hard, but Linux is not very hard, okay, believe me. Just follow exactly what I'm telling you. You'll be successful, and I won't be surprised you guys would land a job minimum $50 an hour, minimum. Okay, I'm showing you everything inside out. I'm preparing you for the job. I'm not preparing for some kind of certification and all that. You could definitely take the certification, but you will be required to do well, you all know how to use the email and all that. I'm not going to teach those, but I'm preparing you as a Linux engineer with scripting and Ansible, and you're not going to be running this command on one computer. I'm going to teach you later on how you would run a commands in multiple computers, okay? All right, good. So now let's see here. I'm gonna put you on mute here, okay? If you have a question, unmute yourself. Okay, so we have the redirector. I showed you all the cat command, right? So let me clear this. Okay, so the cat command is not there yet. So what I'm gonna do is, I have a file here, right? I have file 3, and if I do cat means read. File 3. There is nothing in that file 3. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do a redirector and put something in the file 3. What it does is, it will open a small space, and I could put something in that file here. This is a Linux course. This is a 6-month course. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do Control D. So we'll exit out of the editor. So if I type cat file 1, what will I see?
Those 2 lines.
It is a Linux course. This is a 6 months course.
Yeah, very good. I see two lines in there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, if I do the same thing here, so the line 1 and 2 is gone. So this is line 3, line 4. Okay, and if I do Control D, okay, Control D, if I do cat file 3, it's all gone. The previous content of the file is gone. But to keep, if you want to keep the content of the file, you have to add double greater than arrow. Okay, this is called redirector. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and this is line 5. This is line 6. Control D, and if I do cat file 3, now the line, it keeps it in the place here. Okay, so this is called a redirector. You are redirecting it to the output into the file. So when you do a regular cat file 3, you're reading the file. At the same time, you also, in the old days, if you want to read the file, you're supposed to do this, a cat 0 less than file 3. This would have also read the file. It will give you the same result. Or cat less than file 3, that means input file. So cat 0, cat less than, or just simply cat, that means it's reading your file. This is what it is. It's called redirector. So 0 input greater less than means standard input. This is called standard input from the CLI, command line interface. Now what I could do is standard output. So if I do cat file 3, what is this? Any command I'm typing in CLI, what did I tell you it is?
Input.
Input, very good. And what are the 4 lines officially known as?
Output.
Output, very good. That is input and this is output. So now what I'm going to do is, I don't want to see the output here on the screen. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do cat file3, and then I'm going to do the output to another file here, file 4. The system will put it in file 4 if it's already there, it rewrites it. If it's not already there, it overwrites it. So before I run this, let me do ls file 4 doesn't exist. So I'm going to do file 3 and then greater than sign, I'm going to do file 4 and hit enter. So instead of showing up on the screen here, this part is, instead of showing on the screen, it went into the file 4. What did I do? It's called redirect. So if I do file 4, what will happen? It will have 4 lines in there. If I do cat file 3 double greater than file 4, if I do cat file 4, how many lines I should expect in here?
4 lines.
So this one already had 4 lines. File 3, file 4, cat file 4 already has 4 lines. So if I do double greater than, it will keep the original file content here, which is this, and it's going to add
Yes.
another 4 lines.
Yeah, total 8 lines.
Yeah, there you go. You got 8 lines in that.
Okay, what about the file 3? Where is that? The solid gone
File 3
already
is still
or?
there. File 3 is still there. So we read the file 1, file 3 first time, it went in there. We read the file 3 again, and then this time we, instead of rewriting, we kept, when you do double arrow, it will put the output on the bottom of the file, okay? You could play this game all day long. You run this again, what will happen? It will add another 4 lines to file 4.
When you type in cat file 3, will it only show the first 4 lines? And then when you go to file 4, it just shows the 8?
Now it's 12.
Oh, that was 12. Okay.
So instead, you're just redirecting the output. Okay, it keeps going, it keeps building up here. But if I do file 3 here, what will happen to file 4?
It's gonna add more.
File 3 was having 3 lines, so just 4 lines, so just 4 lines will be displayed, I suppose.
Yeah, very good. Because if you have a double arrow, then it will add to it. If you don't have a double arrow, then it will just, if you do cat file 3, cat file 4 will be same thing. Because we just did 1 arrow here. So instead of coming on the screen here, we told it to put it on file 4. So it went into file 4 here. Okay? Just practice it a little bit longer. So if I do cat, let's see here, ls, I'm going to do cat file 5, right? Cat file doesn't exist, but if I hit enter, this is the error message here. So let's do a cat. You could do multiple files at the same time, cat file 3 and cat file 5. Remember, cat file 5 doesn't exist. So this part, it's reading is putting on the screen here, and it's reading file 5. It doesn't exist. It's giving out the error. So there is a system built in. If you use 2 greater than, you could filter out the errors. So if I do cat file 3 and file 5, which it doesn't exist, I'm going to go ahead and put this into file 4. Whatever is in file 4 is going to get overwritten. So here I'm going to do 2 greater than. So in these 5 lines here, what is the error? Which one is the error in these 5 lines?
No such file is in the
Yeah, the
file
last
of
line, right?
last line. So that will not be displayed here, huh?
Yeah. So what will happen is 2 greater than. What will happen is it will detect only the error and it will move that error into file 4. It will go ahead and display this part also. This part will be on the screen and this part will be captured and thrown into file 4. See?
Oh, the error is thrown in the file 4, you're saying.
Yeah, because we are using a number 2 and a greater than. So if I do
Okay.
cat file 4, there you go, the error is there.
Yeah.
If you want to keep adding to the file here, then you do double greater than. So the file 4 should have 2 errors in there now because of one previous one and the current one. There you go.
Alright.
Okay, so these are 3 redirectors we have to worry about. It's actually 0, 1, 2. But over the years, you don't really have to put 0. You just have, or anything like that. You just have to,
I was not clear about the how did we got the that particular line using two.
which one? This one?
Yeah, the search file directory. How did we got this one in
We
using
added double arrow.
so what does
Okay, you have, that's what I'm saying here. Look at only, we added 2 and greater than sign.
okay
2 greater than sign is a standard symbol. It will filter out errors. I told you
uh,
earlier, in here, in this here, if we are catting file 3 which exists and file 5 doesn't exist, right?
okay
So it's reading file 3 and it's throwing out the output on the screen. And then it's reading file 5, it's throwing out that file doesn't exist.
sure
Okay, now when we using 2 greater than sign or 2 double greater than sign, it will look for, the system will like zero in on a specific, the system very smart. It will uh, detect which one is an error and which one is not error.
sure yeah understood
Yeah, go ahead. I highly encourage everybody to do a group practice. Okay, if you guys want, I'll give you the WebEx, and whenever you are ready, do the group practice. Or maybe I think the Google Meet is there. Put in the chat that whoever want to meet, and then you guys could share the meeting, and then practice this, because the more you do it initially, the easier it gets. So here, let me go over this one more time. For you to be able to use, either you type 0 or just like this, greater than, or you don't even have to do it, just type cat file 2. It's all 3 options are doing the same function here. This is mostly widely used. And also the same thing with this. If you want to redirect here, you're supposed to do 1 greater than, but 1 is optional here because they made the system run in the background. There is a 1 before, it's doing it automatically for you. So you could either use 1 greater than sign or just 1. But for the errors, you have to put number 2 for sure. Number 2 greater than or double greater than sign. It will capture the errors for you. It says filters the error and send it to the file. Okay, alright, so these all things are good. So now I'm going to officially do concatenate. Cat stands for concatenate. Okay, so yeah, I just did this already. So now if you want to get out of the file, Control C. ls file x. Okay, yeah, we just did all this here. And cat file 1, cat file 2. So I'm going to show you officially. You could cat 2 files at the same time, cat file 3 and file 4. So the output will be on the screen, okay? or you could do messages. There is a messages file, the cat messages, and it's going to read through this lines here. There are a lot of lines in that messages file we copied from somewhere else. Okay, and then 2 greater than, adding multiple files to the output here. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to do cat. Let's have some fun. Cat file 4, right? So if I do cat messages and this file 4, what is going to happen now?
You can edit the contents.
No, everything that we have in the messages files is going to go into the file 4. We are redirecting the output. So if you do cat file 4, remember cat file 4 has 2 lines in there, right? Now it should have everything plus these 2 lines from the messages file. See? This is how you manipulate things here. I think I need to clear this out here a little bit. So let me work on this. I'm going to get rid of the messages files here so that you're not confused. I'm going to clear this ls. I'm going to get rid of everything from here ls. Okay, let's start all over here again. I'm gonna touch. So let's do cat, and I'm gonna do this file 1 and hit enter. So file 1 doesn't exist, right? So if I do cat greater than file 1, it's gonna create at the same time. It's gonna give us a chance to put something in the file. Okay, this is Linux line 1. This is 6 months. Line 2. Okay, hit enter. I'm going to do control C or control D. So if I do cat file 1, you should have how many files in there? 2 lines in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put this into file 2. Okay, so what is file 2 doesn't exist. So what is going to be in file 2?
2 lines only.
Yeah, these 2 lines. Line 1 and line 2. So if I do cat file 2, it is in there. Now if I do this again, it will have these 2 lines again in there, because file 1 has 2 lines in there. So double greater than, it will add to it.
4 lines.
There you go. All right, now I think I showed enough here. You all guys got the idea how this is working, okay? So all you have to do is just take some time and practice it. You will get it. And whenever you're doing
I have a
the
question.
practice on your own, put the question. If you run into question, put it in the chat. Okay, so that somebody should answer it. Okay, so let's work on the grep command. Let me clear this. I do ls. I'm going to get rid of this file, 2 files here. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to do cat file 1, right? Okay. I'm going to add 2 more lines. Let's see, cat 4, file 4 is there, right? 4 lines.
Okay. File 4 is having 4 lines, yeah.
Okay, so cat file 4 has
4 lines.
4 lines in there. So there is a command called grep, and I'm gonna search through the file here and filter it out. So I'm going to search for the term Linux here in this file, and then what it does is it will bring that line to me, whichever is matching that that word here. So I'm going to do grep Linux, and I'm going to do file 2. So what I'll do is it will bring two lines here, because this line has the term Linux in it and this line has the term Linux in it. So it filtered this out and got me these two lines here, okay? I could do the same thing with this here. So grep 6. So I'm expecting this line and this line to come show up here, okay? So it says this, whichever line it has a matching word in it, it will bring this for you as an output. Or you could use the pipe. So what is the pipe? There is a pipe here. If you hold the shift key, this key, when you hold the shift and it's on the backward slash, this is a pipe. A little vertical line is a pipe. P-I-P-E, that's what it's called. Okay, I'll show you how to use the pipe here. So let's do cat file 2, and then I want to grep it, right? So I do cat file 2, and then I'm going to grep it using a pipe, grep, and then I'm going to type Linux in it. So what it's going to do is the system is going to give this output. In that output is going to filter out the Linux term. There you go. Same thing with 6. So this way you could run the multiple commands here. So you could have like a primary command, secondary command, and third command here. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do cat file 2 cat line 2. So I'm going to add file 2. I'm going to add couple lines in here, okay? This is interesting. This is Red Hat course. Okay, I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to clear this. So I'm going to do cat file 4. Okay, file 2, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter this out using, let me do this I here, okay? So if I do like cat file 2 and then grep Linux, if I just type LIN, let's see what it brings up, okay? So it's bringing all those things which is matching. If I type red in there, it's bringing everything which is matching. So let's see here. If I type grep this, it's bringing almost all the lines here, right? And then I could run one more command in there, and I do grep 6. So what it's doing is it's grepping and bringing this output, and within that it's going to look for this here. So it's going to bring two lines here. Or let me type red in there, and it brings only one line. So first it reads this, and this part is getting you the output of this part, and the third command is looking inside and filtering out whatever is matching here, okay? So the more, yeah, go ahead.
It's like a loop.
What?
It's It's like a loop, right?
No,
Searching into the file again,
yeah, very good. You're filtering the filter.
filtering the filter. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, let's clear this. The next command we're going to learn is word command. So WC stands for word count. And I'm going to do file 4 and hit enter. Why am I stuck at file 4? So file 2, we did a word count on file 2 here. So what it is it has 6 lines, 27 words and 140 characters. So it got 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, and it has 27 words here. If you count these words here, 27 words and 140 characters, including the space. Okay, this is what is word count stands for. If you do WC-L and file 2, it's going to give you L stands for lines, W stands for words, and C stands for characters. I'm going to do W. It's going to give 27 words. And then if I do C, it gives you 140 characters. Okay, so don't sweat too much on it. You could just use this here. So let me clear this here. Let me do ls. I'm going to get rid of everything here. I'm going to create a file here. This is for the demo per se, what I'm doing next here. Okay, this is line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, I'm going to create a file cat file 1 and hit enter. I'm going to paste all this here. Okay, this is line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I'm going to do Control D, that's enough. So there is a command called head command. What it does is it reads the file and brings up first 10 lines of the head command, okay, of the file. If I do head and then file 1, it will restrict itself to 10 lines here. Blank space is also line 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And if I do head hyphen 5, it brings 5 lines. And then if I do like 6, by default, if I don't do anything, by default it brings you 10 lines. But if I type everything here, if the file is huge, if I type 15, it will be your top 15 lines. Of course, here we don't have enough lines here, so it's going to bring everything within 15 lines. Okay, if we have head, we have tail. What does tail does? It brings the bottom 10 lines. Starting from the bottom, it reads all the way up, goes up, and brings 10 lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, same thing. Tail hyphen 5 and file 1, it gives you 5 lines. So this is unrestricted. If you have a 100 line file, you type 100, and then you're going through. Instead of seeing all the lines here, you got 100 lines in there. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. And what else we have? Yeah, I think you all are caught up here. So next thing we're going to do is meet in the class Saturday and Sunday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. here, okay? There are a couple things I'm going to show you in the class, then we're all good. Okay? So I'm going to stop here and then
Thank
I'm
you,
going to
Mr.
upload
Zafar.
the recording And you all guys know where to get the recording from, right? You go to the channel website and you get it from there. So let's see here.
Sir, where should I check all these commands?
Here, this document here. Okay, hold on. I told you who's asking.
This Azmat.
Okay, good. So your next 6 months, bookmark this website here. This is a course website, July 20, and it is on the WhatsApp. If you go into WhatsApp information, group information, you have everything there. Okay, go to this website, july20.zmprotech.com, and you have this course main document here. Everything I'm copying and everything, you have this on this website here. You could download it. I will enable the download here. Okay, and then these are the course download, this PuTTY config, and then this thing is going to grow into a big website which has a lot of content in it. For next 6 months, whatever we're going to do is going to go in here, okay? And this is the main document. You want to keep it with you forever. So you go open the main document and open a new window. So it's loading, I think. Okay, so everything is in there. And then what I do is when the class is there, you see the YouTube link here. Starting from here, that is the recording for the YouTube. Everything is there, okay? If you have any questions, put it in the chat. You will get the answer. Is that clear?
No problem, sir. Sir, I have one more question. I tried to PuTTY, download the PuTTY, but very hard to connect the PuTTY. They're coming with a lot of errors.
I also had errors connecting PuTTY to the virtual box.
Yeah, so let me hang up here. We'll do one-on-one here after namaz. And then you guys went in here and did download all these things, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what you have to do for PuTTY is you have to go directly to box here and you have to log in first, root and Red Hat, whatever the password I gave you, and then you type IPA. I think I need to configure to both of you guys here. I think you guys yeah, I think I have to do that for you. So connect me after I hang up, then we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right, so I'm going to stop the recording and then I'll upload it on the YouTube. So this is a YouTube channel here. You just click in there and then all the recordings will be there. This is the recording for yesterday and this is the official one for the course. I'll upload the one as soon as I can, okay?
And
Zafar.
when you uploading all this videos on the YouTube, so this for the everyone or who's taking the class for those only?